Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting week of AEL Rocket League. Well, it's sort of that mid-week matchup. I think we can turn this into something special, like the Friday night Fro-down, because I used to have a Fro, but now it's gone. Either way, I'm Formal. Joining me is Fetch, as we're bringing you just one best of 5 today. It's Southern Cross Yellow taking on the Swinburne Flying Pigs.
Yeah, exactly. Two teams we haven't seen as much of, I think, in the broadcast. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's been a lot of broadcasts. We've done a lot of Rocket League, and it's been very exciting. Yeah, I can't add anything to that Friday night. Trying to go with the alliteration. There's like boost, there's fire. I don't know. I'm struggling to make it work a bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we don't need it. I mean, it's just because like everyone goes, oh, Friday Night Lights, but I mean, we're going to be playing in a day stadium today, so that doesn't really work. And not to mention that I feel that trope has been used and overused plenty of time. Look, it's Friday Night Rocket League. We're just bringing you Southern Cross versus Swinburne, and yeah, these teams, they're been a bit of a struggle streak for both of them, actually. Each in Group C. The Flying Pigs sitting 2-1 right now, but kind of getting lost in a pack in a really strong group with teams like the SJs, the QUT Real World Frakes, and the UCID Open Net. Meanwhile, when you look at Southern Cross, they have one win to their name, but the team overall has been struggling to find victories. So it's kind of a must-win situation for each of these teams, but I do kind of worry when you take a look at this group as a whole. These are teams that might not get as much attention, so it's kind of nice that they get an entire stream dedicated just to these two.
Yep, the Spotlight exhibition stream. It's not really an exhibition stream. That kind of implies there aren't standing stakes. But yeah, you're right. This is sort of one of those middle-of-the-pack matches. I kind of find these ones interesting, especially towards the beginning of the season. It's the sort of thing we've said a fair bit already on these previous Rocket League broadcasts. It's the fact that this is kind of that jockeying for positioning. Because being in the top half, even though it doesn't necessarily get you anything in terms of finals ramifications, it still feels a lot better being just one step above the halfway mark rather than one step below. It shows that you're in the top 50% of players, and that makes you definitively one of the good teams, I'm going to say. I know people hate that definition, but I think that's really worth something.
I think it is as well. As we're going to take a quick look at these rosters before we go too deep into things. On the Southern Cross side, we have Washed Hoops Main, Milkman, and Fisher Boy 99. Meanwhile, for the Flying Pigs, it is Zero, Finch, and Ellers. Again, coming into this one, based on results alone, Flying Pigs probably going to be my favorites. We've seen Southern Cross, I believe, on stream in the past, and they have struggled in this situation. So their slower start, not too much of a surprise. I'm not sure it was this Southern Cross team that we've seen, though, so perhaps a bit of a surprise in that regards. Maybe they can, turn the perhaps reputation of that university around. Milkman feels like a familiar name to me, but I kind of got called out for that last stream, actually, where I admit I got two players confused and apologies were sent behind the scenes, so my deepest apologies back then. So not taking more risks like that. Either way, I think we're going to get to this matchup soon, but as we head to the pitch, Fetch, I believe we have some people we need to thank.
Of course we do. First of all, our monitor partner, AOC, the global leader in monitor display technology. For more than 50 years, AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers worldwide. Today, the company offers a wide selection of stylish monitors for home, office, and gaming. Once again, when we have live events again, when you see us around, make sure to have a look at those AOC monitors. They're what makes the game seem that much more crisp. Second of all, our presenting partner, Chatime Fresh Iced Tea. Chatime is the fastest growing iced tea franchise in Australia. There are over 120 Chatime tea breweries with commitment to quality ingredients and mix-ins and a flair for innovative flavor combinations to brew nothing but the very best iced teas. Always remember, hit us up on social media, let us know your favorites. We'll see if we can try and retweet some of those. I'm not going to guarantee it because I'm not in charge of social medias, but I've seen it happen before, so there's a chance. Indomie, of course, our I can never remember the name of this one. I always call it Noodle Partner, but I don't think that's right. It's just a funny name. Indomie noodles are made from carefully selected ingredients, the best quality flour and fresh spices from the natural resources of Indonesia, giving it a unique and delicious taste. As a result of Indomie's success, their range has expanded to 14 different products. Got a bit carried away there. That's one which personally I'm always taking recommendations for, so you can message me. You can always at me on Twitter with those. And Rig, what it takes to win. Rig are our headset partners, developing headsets delivering superior audio quality for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. Join the Rig team and enhance your gaming experience. Once again, if you think our voices are a bit rubbish, you just aren't using the right headsets. I'm sorry, you just gotta get some that will sound crisp and clear as anything.
That is the most true thing I think I have heard. 100%. So, yeah, get some rig in there so you can make sure you can hear the best from us. That said, I am going to be bringing us to the pitch, and it looks like something has gone I do apologize. I'm trying to figure out if we saw the jumping before. It's because one of our team names seems to have disappeared when we have gone in game. So I'm just going to try and fix that up before we do get to it. There we go. All right. So, yeah, now I'm going to head to the pitch right now, give the players the okay to go if they are here, which I believe they are. Always my favorite thing to say. Just okay, it's time to duel. I hope they know what that means because I think it's pretty straightforward, but
they're going to go into 1v1s now because you've said that.
Oh, no.
At some point, someone's going to be like, oh, we're playing ones? Okay, it's just a best of 3, but it's like ones, you know?
Well, that is said. The timer is going to kick down. 3, 2, 1. We are other way. It is going to be Southern Cross on the blue side. Swinburne in orange, and Swinburne getting near to that opening goal. Milkman's going to clear it out at that last possible second.
Yeah, I'm loving the style here. Just kind of pulling the ball along. Gets a bit of an awkward dribble there. Passes it, puts it up high. Zero's going to set that clearance out pretty resoundingly, but maybe not as strong as they might have liked. Ellis sets the ball up. Should be above the goal. Zero can't quite get that one. Milkman, to be fair, going for the contest. Right back in control of SUT, though. They're going to play this up high and actually couldn't quite find that clearance. Once again, it wasn't quite as strong as they might have liked.
No, not quite what they're looking for as we see Milkman falling back on defense right now, trying to cheat up the middle, but the pass already intercepted by Zero, I believe. We were talking about style briefly before coming into this, and look, I'm going to be remiss not to bring it up. The best James Bond car being driven by Milkman right now, that Aston Martin DB5. Absolutely love it. It's why I root for Aston Martin sometimes in the F1s, despite, you know, being the company that hired Lance Stroll. At least they have Vettel. Either way, Zero shot, but it's going to be stopped. It looked like that had a chance at something, except you have to remember Zero was playing defense right there. So had that been a proper shot, things would be definitely a little out of control.
Yeah, but there is still kind of a couple more shots. Finch finding a reposition to get another attempt on this play, but Washed Hoops just with a gentle nudge away. And yeah, when I said style, I absolutely was looking at that Aston Martin. I was really, again, I didn't think. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't quite the right car, but here's a setup. Zero just going to bounce the ball up high enough that no one's going to be able to get a really solid shot on. They're all kind of playing that halfway mark. Wash might have set it up on the backboard, but also passed out wide to try and keep it out of possession of Ehlers. I mean, it feels like we've got that classic slower, whoa, we're not quite, you know, we're still kind of figuring out the series game 1.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way, although that's a cheeky little pass right there. Ehlers to Zero using the musty to get that ball across as we watch this again. Well, it wasn't really a musty, but it was a nice upside-down flick. Either way, great pass, great shot, 1-0 lead for Swinburne.
Yeah, opens up pretty well, and that was, I think, the first big, like, maybe not a dominant play I've seen, but the first really well-coordinated play which kind of executed exactly how the teams wanted to go. So a great start for Swinburne. You wanted to see what Southern Cross could show us in this series, and another great setup by Swinburne. Finch maybe puts it a little bit high, and Ehlers
oh no!
Was so. That wasn't what I thought it was it?
That
wasn't.
It was. It absolutely was a pinch from above, just knocking it back above the defender. Zero. So innovative with that attack right there, and that's going to be a great lead right there.
Get the best of both worlds. The tire to slow it down, the pinch to speed it up. I don't know. That was just such a weird shot. I would never expect someone to make that. The subtle control of that play was really good, and I'm struggling to express just how much, but Fisher actually finds a pass off the backboard and just slaps one in. Milkman sets this one up. It looks like, actually it was all three of them who set this up. I liked we'd kind of seen Southern Cross put the ball in that kind of a spot before, but they just either didn't have the numbers or they just get an awkward touch, or they kind of pulled back defensively on the play and they weren't 100% confident. This time, they really make it work.
As we do see off that kickoff right now, Washed Hoops main can only go so far with it before the ball gets demoed and thrown more towards that blue side of the field. Will be a bit of a pinch of a clear across the middle. Ehlers sitting back. Has to keep that ball in the corner, at least for now, where they will follow it up. Milkman has a look, but doesn't have the boost to follow it up. Finch from underneath, shot off that side wall. Ehlers throwing it back over to Finch, who kind of made weaker contact with it. Again, is going to keep that ball held up high, all to set up Zero, who is stopped by Milkman. And now Ehlers, with a cross-up shot, puts it in, and once more we have a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, and last time, Ehlers kind of held back a little bit, didn't want to, was ready for potentially a really big counterattack from the side of Southern Cross, and this time, yeah, was willing to commit a bit more. Kind of saw that there wasn't going to be a big, quick clear. Know that their buddies had the fast rotate back, and that was really good by them, being that third player who was able to, yeah, just get in the exact right spot. quite like that. Finch this time picking up a pretty good 50-50 win and then sort of taking the contest afterwards. That's a great play here for Zero as well. That was a solo effort to beat out 2. And then just another great setup.
Yeah, as we can see this one again, it was just a meatball held up there, and Zero, who had gone to the back left corner for boost, wound up being the fastest player to the ball. And that's been a bit of a recurring theme, I feel like, for the Swinburne side. Zero has been a bit of that playmaker that we've seen thus far. Definitely been that standout performer. Whether or not that continues throughout the entirety of the series, time will tell. But at the moment, definitely being a thorn in the Southern Cross side.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, the whole team's kind of figured out their aggression, figured out how far they can go, which is going to make them quite dangerous. With a 4-1 lead, they're looking quite dominant. And yeah, I love all of the roles the players right at the moment from SUT are kind of taking on. They kind of know where they're all playing. They've found their comfort zone. I'm really liking that. So yeah, just in general, good job. There's a demo. Zero didn't quite get the connection with that one. Wasn't teed up maybe quite as easily as the last few, but here we go, another attempt. The G2 car, the tire touch not quite coming through. Don't know if that was going to be a reset or a soft touch. Milkman with a clutch save.
Milkman has had a couple of those, so don't let the scoreline fool you so far in this matchup. Milkman has been arguably the most consistent defender that we've seen on the Southern Cross Yellow side. A few of those sort of late touches, and every time Milkman is trying to push it through to the corner, the problem is there's usually been an attacker already pressed that far forward that even if trying to rotate through their own defensive corner, they're running into a bit of disruption or a bit of contact that's probably not helping the situation for the Southern Cross team, and that is very tough to defend against. Essentially what you need to do is almost center the ball a bit more, which sounds a little bit risky, but then you need to trust an ensuing teammate to win a clutch 50-50. It's a high-risk type play, but hey, if Southern Cross can pull it off, then you might see them be able to get out of their defensive half a little bit easier.
Yeah, I like that as a theory. You know, you always talk about not putting the ball in front of goals, but that sounds quite a reasonable play. Looks like right at the moment, I mean, they're probably not going to be, well, okay, they're definitely not going to be able to make that comeback this game, but they're slowly screwing down a little bit. They've managed to keep SUT on the back foot a touch, so if they can kind of bring that into the next game, I don't dislike their theories. Maybe another one throws at me. Well, okay, they're not going to make it just at the moment, but yeah, I think the identification of Milkman as a defensive player was good. It was astute. I liked it. And we've kind of, that's also kind of led in really well to what they can improve.
I do agree, and I'm hoping that they can continue to improve. Otherwise, well, this series could be a very, very interesting one so far, because for that Southern Cross side, while they did get one goal through, it definitely wasn't the result that they happened to be looking for.
Yeah, definitely. But it's first game of series, right? It's a best of. That's always the way these games kind of go. Well, not always, but like you don't stress yourself out because you lost one game. That's not going to get anyone anywhere, except for maybe your opponents. And that's funnily enough not ideal.
Yeah, it's funny that it's not ideal, eh?
Yeah, it's odd. But I really agree with what you were saying. I think the idea that Southern Cross can play off each other a little bit more, they can trust each other in the defense. It's not sort of Milkman running back and forth across the goal, which we saw a little bit in that game.
Big ball.
Or just getting pulled straight out. Good job there.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like that as an idea. I mean, Zero's put the aggression on immediately right here, and it's almost had it, but there wasn't anyone in the angle.
No, there wasn't that time around, as we now watch Ehlers looking to play through that corner. Chance for the ball to fall into the net, not really taken. Finch will be the one who clears it to the opposite corner, looking to stay with the play. But eventually it does get pinched out as well. For the second game in a row, it does look as if SUT have established themselves more on that attacking half, as we see Zero again off that backboard, but Ehlers maybe a bit too quick to try to force a play, had already committed before we even saw the setup finish.
Yeah, that's it. There was some. Oh, that was a good smother by Fisher Boy, but didn't really go to anyone. And yeah, SUT maybe needs to find that position once again. A couple of players stacked up, taking the same space. This could be a really dangerous position. Ehlers has to clear this one out wide, but again, a bit cautious in attack from Southern Cross, kind of again not taking up as much of their space, not controlling the field maybe as well as they could. We saw that player cheating very far forward, so if Zero gets this pass on, it could be super dangerous, but Ehlers just doesn't connect with it.
No, there's been a few of these little whiffs sometimes, but that was not one of them. Zero from midfield puts it through. 1 point lead to Swinburne Flying Pigs.
Yeah, and you know, we saw the other team, we saw a couple of defenders go up for it, but they just weren't quite there. That pass, you know, it almost hit that 100 km/h mark, so it wasn't by no means a slow goal, but But yeah, the defense kind of, again, not quite figuring out their space. 3 players basically triple committing on the kickoff. Which is oh no.
I wanted that save. I think everyone wanted to see that save. And what started off looking so good turned so bad for the Washed Hoops main. Wounds up double touching it off their own post to put it through, and now it's a 2-0 lead.
Play at least, you know? The like slamming it off the rim into the goal. That's like one of the more stylish plays there, but I guess, yeah, it just didn't quite work out ideally. Finch has set this one up really, really well, but Zero this time being that midfield player. 3 players all holding the same space in defense. Maybe some of the rotation might have been a bit better, but they might have a breakaway if they can cover Finch.
Yeah, well, let's see what Finch is going to be able to do off that back where the ball gets held up for a good long while eventually. Defenders do wind up in its way. Zero trying to chase it through underneath, but Fisher actually winds up losing sight of the ball right there. Has to rely on Milkman for the setup. They can't connect on the pass across the middle. As we take to the skies with Zero going straight down the center. Has Ellers underneath. Challenge won by Ellers, in fact, and it's now a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, they kind of they always played like the numbers game there. You know, that great tap forward. I think, to be fair, it did come off both of them, and that was what made it such a neat play. I like the fact that Washed Up Hoops was contesting it nonetheless. Managed to get a touch onto it. When you've got the 2 players there, it's so hard to be able to cover the exact direction. But I like the fact that they got up there. They were still contesting it. A big pass forward from Milkman, but they've, again, got to find some support from their teammate. They didn't have anyone really to pass. Washed Hoops is in front of the goal, and Fisher Boy kind of playing that really super pure defense goalkeeper role. You often talk about being a little bit low impactful in the games.
As we do see Finch now looking to play through that corner a fair bit. Might run into some contact as the demo nearly opens the door. Fisher Boy eventually does get the touch and will now look to push it back up that other way. Ball in the middle of the field will be left by Zero, who taps it back and runs into a bit of contact. Ellers open net shot, goal. 4-0 lead now as Swinburne starting to pull away.
Yeah, that was just, you know, double sprint on the play. I mean, Finch still won out on the contest. Essentially, I don't even know if you can call that a 50-50 at that point. Like, when there's 3 players in the contest and you don't necessarily have, like, the advantage on it. But yeah, at the end of the day, that kind of feels like it. When SUT get in the air, they seem to be able to outclass Southern Cross. And part of that, I think, is because they're indexing too heavily on defense. They're not quite being able to run forward, get those boosts and things. But they have an attempt here as Fisher Boy tries to pass down to Milkman. Doesn't quite work out. So now it's going to be Hoops main being the kind of defender who's going to try and play back. And to be fair, they're using space a bit better. Goes for the shot, or the pass off the roof at least. It doesn't quite work out.
No, that could have been it, but unfortunately, just another situation where the defense a bit too quick. And again, Swinburne, they just are that faster team, and I think we're really seeing that be exemplified more and more so in this game. As yet another goal is going to be scored by Zero right here, and it's just the speed to the play. Yes, Milkman got to the ball first in that situation, but Zero was the one who made the read, made the adjustment, and kind of played around that bit faster. So it's feeling like a roughie right now for the Southern Cross side.
Absolutely, and this is kind of going to be the case with some of these matches. I talked about the fact there was a big difference between being just above and just below the halfway mark, and that might be something. Games like this can sometimes exemplify what that is in terms of the experience of the players, because I feel like that's just it. You know, this SUT team has just got that extra experience. That seems to be the difference maker, and that's what gets you fast in the play. What gets you that better instinct, able to kind of, like you said, read the play. And it's not just about being able to hit the ball right. Ooh, that was almost a really big play from Milkman as Ellers gets damaged. Again, not enough support there, not enough players able to get to the ball in time.
As we do see Washed Hoops main put one straight down the middle with Finch, and then Ellers, who had cheated forward, redirects it. And even though that wasn't a goal, it really does highlight the experience that I think Southern Cross doesn't have, like that Swinburne actually does have in this matchup, just because that is a play, that is a shot that you've practiced all the time. Ellers put that right towards the center of the net. They were already cheated forward. They knew what was going to happen a step ahead as Washed Hoopmates almost makes the solo play work. Just came up a little bit short right there. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is another one of those matches where you have to kind of chalk things up to an experience differential. A team that's just been more familiar, has played more at this level, and seemed to consistently be that one step ahead as Finch makes it 6-0.
Yeah, There really isn't that much more to say on that kind of an issue. I think you're exactly right. And it's hard. Obviously, it feels really, really bad in those situations, especially when you're being, it sounds mean to say outclassed, but sort of beaten out in all of the individual skills, or at least a lot of the individual skills. There we go, actually. Watched Hoops Main managed to find a very opportunistic play off the kickoff. And one more goal, and we could have some funny memes in the chat, I think, or at least in the game. Maybe not the chat.
Yeah, some big-time funny memes. 7-1 scoreline right around the corner. As we see what happens for this next point, it's going to be very telling. Off of that kickoff, you know that Swinburne are going to look for it, but the ball goes the other way. And it's Milkman who is able to get it through. We watch this one again. Yeah, Ellers just kind of missed on the cheat, and then Milkman beat Finch to the play.
That's but I mean that's why pushing up is risky, right? Because if your opponent breaks your line, suddenly you only have one defender, or maybe even none, depending on how you played it. But hey, 2-6, like getting a couple of goals back. It's kind of, I think, what we said about the last game. In the last few minutes, maybe SUT looked a little bit better. I think it was Southern Cross looked a little bit better, but yeah, I wasn't necessarily enough. And we said it last game, they looked a little bit better. But fundamentally, I don't think it's going to be enough to take this series. SUT sort of have that slight advantage in every single skill. They've got a bit better, they've got that game sense a bit more kind of locked down. They know where each other is, they know where the play is going to be. A lot of those factors, pretty much all of those factors, they have an advantage in, which means I don't really know what the avenues for Southern Cross to get back to this game is. But they have, I'm pretty sure they have picked up a win or two, right?
So they have one win to their name, yes.
Yeah, so it's not like they're just getting kind of this same result's gonna happen in every single one of their games, but it is one of the teams who is gonna have to kind of come back in the next season, 2022 season, come back, bring their skill, learn more, practice in the off season, and yeah, Ellers builds an advantage in the third game as well, wanting to close this one out.
I mean, you saw, I would say 5 defenders make a play on that ball. Because 2 of them had 2 attempts at it right there, but it was just patient backward play, controlled play coming from the Swinburne side that eventually saw that one go through. So I don't know. There's not much more to say after that. I mean, picking right back up where we left off, I suppose, if you take those last 2 goals aside. I'm kind of with you, though. I think the Southern Cross team is a team that needs to be developed a little bit more, get a bit more reps in against these tougher opponents, and perhaps next season we'll see a bit more from the squad because right now, unfortunately, they are constantly that one step behind. And despite the confidence we were seeing in chat from Watch Hoops Main talking about the reverse sweep, believing in the comeback hype at the end of the last game, I got to be straightforward with you. Look, you have to earn the commentator hype sometimes. And as fun as it is watching you guys get those odd goals every now and then, I'm not sure the hype has been warranted just yet.
Yeah, odd goals don't win series. I do think that the name is worth a bit of hype. That's my pick for this game. And that was kind of forced across the line there. I don't even think it was Zero who got the smother here, right? Yeah, okay, it was. So I wasn't even sure if that connected or if it's just a really awkward touch from Watch Hoops Main. But yeah, like I mean, style. There definitely is the style gap coming in. For the side of Southern Cross. That just doesn't win them points. You know, as much as I would love to, and I'm sure you would as well, they're all kind of bringing something with the name or the car, but, you know, that's not going to get you any actual goals. I think if Fisher Boy actually gets demoed, so it should be an open net. And they did. They got it. There we go. No more open net misses today.
No. Actually, to be quite frank, Swinburne's been very clean when it comes to actually finishing these shots. I feel like Zero angle was a bit too tight, but had a teammate back across the middle, backward pass, despite getting bumped, puts it through, 3-0 lead for the Flying Pig side. And I want to go back to the Aston Martin for a little bit, because I love this car. It is one of my favorite all-time cars, do not get me wrong. It doesn't really look like it's a easy-to-use Rocket League car.
Oh, no. It looks super janky. It looks kind of like it's not like the brick cars. Kind of, you can look at them and you're like, okay, if you've studied the way of the brick, it makes some sense. Milkman cheated forward a little bit, had the pass. That was a really good attempt. It just wasn't quite like again the coordination, the experience wasn't quite there. Oh, it's almost perfect. They've got to put this in surely. Not quite, but Milkman wants to keep fighting. They lose that play on the they lose that play and they lose a bit of tempo on the rotation, so it should probably be a goal. But no, Fisher Boy. Okay, I'm still not quite sure I believe in the reverse sweep, but this play is just that much better, and they kind of trip over each other a little bit on the attack there. But that was much better for Southern Cross. I like that. I like that a lot more.
Yeah, and there are these flash moments of brilliance for every time we see a little bit of a miss like that come from Milkman right there. But Fisher Boy has been stepping up. Like game number 1, I thought it was Milkman. Game number 2, we saw good touches from Wash Hoops main. Game 3, it does seem to be a bit more Fisher Boy. So at different times, these players have stepped up, but well, that's kind of been one of the problems right there as Milkman just pushes Wash Hoops main completely off of the play to take it themselves. The synergy has not been there for the Southern Cross side at times. Double commits, as we see again. They just haven't been able to complete a game. Either someone's a little bit off tempo, or someone's getting in each other's way, or there's no boost for a complete breakaway after the enemy triple commit, which leads to an open demet that you don't put in. Things like this happens.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There may be glints, but there are a lot of ends as well. It's not quite enough to really win it. But again, like I actually genuinely, now that I've seen a few players like that, I'm like, okay, cool. They actually genuinely do have potential. Like I kind of thought, yeah, they just need a bit of experience and they just need a bit more time. But like, if you can already see kind of the shards of those plays popping up, then yeah, you can actually put some belief in them.
Oh no.
They are going aggressive, and the fact that they went aggressive again, the fact they were extended there is better. I like that. I don't like it when teams sit and play defensive because they're getting smacked. At least try and find some openings and try and find some goals.
And
it's practice. It's just practice attacking, but yeah. I like it.
It should be worth noting, too, that Ellers could have 100% put that goal in, but opted not to, and instead is going to score this goal, which looks nicer and is a bit more of a dunk in its place. I see what you're doing, Ellers, playing with their food a little bit on the Swinburne side still. Yeah, exactly. Wash Hoopsman says it best. No clips for you. So there you have that one. Yeah, it's definitely gotten to that stage as we approach the final minute. A chance for, I guess, both these teams to look for clips to finish the stream off. But with 1 minute remaining, I don't know if we're going to see too much action.
No, I don't think so. Unless we get some cool Aston Martin playing, because I'd be down for that. Because I completely agree. Like that car looks impossible to control. I don't know how you come up with like what you do with that car. Maybe it's just that it looks awkward. Like it's not actually anything to do with the hitboxes, but I could not imagine doing any big freestyle plays.
It's less awkward than the battle bus.
I know. I believe in the way of the brick. I don't believe in the battle bus, but I believe in the way of the brick. I think that there is like an art to that.
Yeah, the Merc is fine.
Trained for thousands of years. I agree. I agree with that. But I think that the Aston Martin is sort of
too narrow.
Has the weaknesses. Yeah, it has the weaknesses of other cars without the equivalent strengths.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you get the pop that you would from a Dominus, and it looks like super narrow. And long. It just looks awkward. I don't know. Strange. But you know what? I still love that car, and you know what? I appreciate Milkman for showing us what it can do, and I appreciate Ellers for giving us one last goal before we sign off for the night. Be able to clear it straight down the middle right there. It's going to be a 3-0 sweep for the Swinburne Flying Pigs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And again, it was just kind of talked about it. It was just experience. It was just having played the game more, which are, the same thing. It's fine. But I think I'm accidentally a little bit of a fan of their opponents in Cross here, just because of for most of the banter in chat and the names and the cars. But really, yeah, that was quite a controlled game from SUT. If they get we need to see them get pushed a little bit more, to see a bit more about what they can show us. I think but at the end of the day, that's still that's more to come, right? That's an appetizer for the rest of the seasons. There are plenty of games to come.
Yeah, and speaking of playing more games to come, we're going to have another game tomorrow, I believe, same time, and it might be another best-of-oner. So, it's a pretty narrow gap. If it's over in 30 minutes again, it means you're not going to want to miss it. So please make sure you do tune back in tomorrow, 6:30. I don't think the teams have been announced yet, so we're going to keep that a secret for now. But, yeah, this season is definitely shaping up to be interesting. We're seeing our front runners, we're seeing our mid-packers, and we're seeing our teams that might be struggling a bit. This was a chance to see, more of the lower half of the field. And, yeah, I do definitely want to see more of the Flying Pigs.
Absolutely. I really do. That's just it. That's exactly it.
That's just it.
Nothing couldn't be any better. Yeah.
And from there we roll. I think from there we roll. One last time, a big thank you to our sponsors in Chatime, AOC, Indomie, as well as Rig. A thank you to the schools participating. A thank you to AEL for putting this all together. And a thank you to you for tuning in and watching. Make sure to follow us on the Twitters. You can see Fetch's one right up there. Mine's right down there. And until tomorrow, when we will be back, I'll shout you all out there out on the pitch.